All right. So I'm really excited for this team call tonight. You guys, welcome, first of all, and congratulations for being on. Thank you for taking time out of your Wednesday to plug into this phone call to get the good nuggets to grow your business. We have a really special guest tonight, and he's an awesome friend. This guy is like motivation upon inspiration upon all the nuggets you need to grow your business. He is like a multitude of things. So get excited. Make sure you have a notebook or two and a pen or two, because you may run out of ink, you may run out of space, and you don't want to do that on this phone call. I'm so serious. So our guest speaker tonight, I'm going to be honest, I don't know his exact title because he has so many parts to his title. So I'm asking Steph, I asked him, we're going to accumulate all of the titles that I'm finding right now. He can correct me if I'm wrong. All right. Tonight we have this amazing individual. All right. This is what we're going to guess. That's what we're going to guess. I'm going to guess he's the best dad ever, he says. Best dad ever, best son ever. He's worked his entire career to just give back to people, not only in his family, but all over the world. He's an Herbalife member. Can't get that wrong. His name is Garrain Jones, and he's here to knock our socks off. So please, Garrain, come on and give us all the nuggets, give us all the goods. We absolutely love you, and we can't hear anything you have for us.
Knock your socks off?
Well, my socks are already off, but knock our socks off.
Oh, good. How's everybody doing? Thumbs up if you just excited to get a breakthrough or some kind of something in your life and in your business. How long is this call, by the way?
For you, however long you would like to take in your schedule, we'll take it.
Okay. So first and foremost, thank you guys for having me on and trusting that, I will say anything, because, it hasn't always been like that. I was the troublemaker and the guy that, where I'm from, I was not allowed to hang out. I was not allowed to hang out with kids when I was younger because I was the influencer. But then, a good God was like, I actually have something more for you. And once I took the same energy that I put into all that craziness, but that was the only way I knew how to function when I was a little kid. I put the same energy into becoming a better version of myself, and same energy into the business, same energy into facing my demons head on like David did Goliath. And now we're here today. Now it's all about talking about those nooks and crannies in between that, because Superman didn't just show up with these tight ass pants on with the Superman cape and it's like, ta-da, like it didn't happen. There had to be a reason why people followed, Superman. And I talk about superheroes a lot because that's what I wanted to be when I was a little kid. So I want to acknowledge you guys for being on this call, for finding anything that said of great importance. And so now I want to briefly go into just certain things from my story that may allow you to find relevant answers to maybe questions that you might be afraid to ask, shameful to ask, and, on your own, whatever. So I came into this company a little bit over 6.5 years ago. There was, and this is not a black thing or a white thing, but there were no black people in Herbalife. It was 2%, no president's team members, and nobody that was like being open and authentic, expressing themselves, like literally nobody in Herbalife. It was as dry as a desert. There was no social media. And if people were using social media, it was not even a secondary or third dairy. It was just, almost like if you had a kid and you never talked to them. That's how people treated social media. And so when I came in, my sponsor, Brian, love him to death, but everything that he said was wrong. You know how they say, listen to your sponsor. I'm like, everything that he said was wrong because I didn't want to hear anything about money. And that's the first thing that he talked about. However, he didn't know me. And he was like, spend this money, $4,000. I'm like, I'm living in my car right now. Hell no, like I ain't spending a dime. So that was the mentality. That was a mindset that I had. So I already came in on edge. I'm like, and so to make a long story short, the pumpkin spice is what got me into the business. It wasn't the money. It was what I found for me. You know what I'm saying? Because the pumpkin spice reminded me of my grandmother's sweet potato pie, which reminded me of the last time I felt family. And I've been wanting to feel that feeling of family when I was 5 years old. So that's all I had in my head. I signed up for the pumpkin spice. I didn't sign up for the business, whatever, because he told me about the marketing plan. He told me about all this other stuff. But until I got for me, why it was good for me to sign up, nothing that he said mattered. Like nothing. He was saying all the same stuff that he said 3 weeks later, which I got, but it wasn't until I got for me why I should be in this business. Before he was like, you can be president's team, you can be this, you can be that, you can be that. I'm like, man, I'm trying to hear that. Like, I wasn't trying to hear anything until I got for me why Herbalife would be great for me. And it couldn't come from somebody saying, well, you should do this and you should do that, because it would be coming from a lens of somebody that's trying to get me to do something on their behalf. I don't care nothing about no money, no president's team, no marketing plan, because that's what you want for you. In my mentality, what I wanted for me was to feel family. And then once I got what I wanted for me, then all of a sudden he started talking about business opportunity. I'm like, what? Well, what'd you say? He was like, oh, I told you about this last week, but I wasn't open to the conversation until it hit me at the core. And so I came in. Now, here's the thing. Me and Brian came in at the same time. So Brian was giving me information based off of what he was getting from someone else, but it was work that I knew he wasn't doing. So it was hard for me to listen to somebody do something that I know wasn't doing the work. I started doing the work. So it was that me and Brian had a very estranged relationship, because I started doing and getting clients every day and doing all this other stuff. And I started resenting my sponsor, because every time somebody would congratulate me for doing anything, it was like he would just jump out the woodworks. He was like, yeah, I brought him into business. And I'm like, yo, it's like, where the hell you come from? You ain't even on this trip. It was like, if you could imagine you being in another country somewhere, and they're like, oh, I see you moving up the marketing plan. It was almost like Brian would jump out the subway and be like, yeah, but I brought him into business. And they go, I'm like, yeah, but that's in my head. I was like, I cannot stand this dude, because he keep trying to, I get it. You brought me into business, but like, let me feel like I'm doing this work without you in the way. Was my mentality, right? So, so this was my mentality. And so what happened was I started resenting my upline. I didn't know that was holding me back. I had no idea. Any kind of resentment. I had no idea. So I was resenting my upline. I was like, and I was talking negative about him. And I was like, I can't stand Brian. He's always trying to take credit for something I did that I can't stand. I can't stand Brian. He made me sick. He can't make me sick. He's trying to take credit, It's like me. I'm doing this work. But, I can't stand it. And I just kept talking to him, and that became that was taking all of my energy. And then all of a sudden I would see all these other people acknowledging their uplines. But what I didn't know is that a lot of people's uplines was doing the same thing as Brian was doing, but they still chose to acknowledge them. However, those people, for some reason, were moving up the marketing plan that were choosing acknowledgement over talking about somebody behind their back. And so one day I was like, man, I'm just going to let that go. If it hadn't been for Brian, I actually wouldn't have had this opportunity. I probably would be dead by now. Real talk. And I talk about this because people come into environments where your upline is still a human being, and they say, listen to your upline and all this other stuff. And it was just so crazy because I said, I don't never want to be like that for anybody that I bring into this business. I'm just let them create the way they want to create without getting in the way. And I brought them into business. It was like a crazy thing, man. And I could not stand my upline. And then I thought about something. When I was a little kid, my dad's an alcoholic. And he was a drug dealer, and he was murdered when I was 12 years old. And everybody spoke bad about my dad, about how he always lied and lacked integrity and all this other stuff. And I never had the same view. I never had the same view of my dad. And it's so funny because people know me for always being my authentic self and doing what I love. They know me for that. You guys know me for that. I ain't changed not one bit. So listen, I love Jesus and trap music. And I don't fake it and I don't front. I like both of them. And I talk about both of them. Jesus and trap music. That's me. That's me, period. And I'm not changing. I like wearing tight pants. It's sparkly bow ties and light colors and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm light skinned and I got really coarse hair and I don't give a damn, and I'm not perming my hair because me is me is me is me is me. So the reason why I said that, because the reason why I'm that way is because in the midst of my dad being drunk, everybody in my family when I was a little kid used to talk about me and make fun of me. Garrain, you can't dance. Garrain, you can't sing. Garrain, you can't do this. Garrain, you can't do that. You can't, And my dad, when I was 6 years old, even while he was drunk, hey, don't you ever tell my son he can't do something. Garrain, you be who you want to be. He was like, you love it, you do it. Even while he was drunk and wasted. I mean, malt liquor after malt liquor after malt liquor. He said, if you love it, you do. You dance if you want to dance. He said, you did. And I remember. And instead of me focusing on all the times he lied, all the times he never showed up when he said, whenever it was my week to see him, the one thing that I've always focused on was the fact that he gave me an opportunity to see more for myself. And the more that I saw for myself was always do what you love. And that was the silver lining that I found truth in, was being my damn self. So when I came into this business, loving Jesus and trap music and expressing myself the way that I do, it wasn't seen as something that you could build a business that way, because nobody had ever seen a unicorn like me, because not only was I expressive and moving fast, I was also a black man where there were no black people doing anything in this company. So it was like a unicorn on top of another unicorn. So there was nothing like that inside of Herbalife, period. And it's not about the color. It's about just acknowledging what it is. And they said, you can design your ideal lifestyle. And I was like, look, I like pandas. I like superheroes. I like fashion. I want to put on for my culture. I love dancing, and I ain't never took no damn dance class, but for some reason, I just love flopping around the house, and I just love dancing when I catch the spirit. I love Jesus. I love trap music. I love self-development. And I started doing that, and people were like, that's not how you build a business. We don't do stuff like that. Well, what my daddy always tell me, you do what you love no matter what they say, Garrain. And if it was strong enough to cut through the disease of alcohol and all that pain that my dad went through, what would happen? That must mean that something else was controlling him in the midst of all that for him to give me that gift. So by me honoring the gift of always do what you love and be yourself, be your authentic expression, that means I keep my dad alive. My dad's not. He's not dead. I keep his legacy alive because that's what he instilled in me. And so by me being myself, I attracted a whole bunch of dancers. I love talking about the fact that I was an ex-convict and I still made it. I did Scared Straight when I was 14 years old, and then they stopped doing. They said it's a different network now. But the Scared Straight was the original Scared Straight that I was 14, and you're supposed to come back 20 years later. You know, they're supposed to come back 20 years later and see where they are. Some was dead, some was this, and I could not wait. That was like, yo, I'm about to do Scared Straight, baby, because we about to put everybody on. But I love the fact sharing sharing my testimony and seeing how people can find their own. Like, you don't have to feel like you were in prison to be in prison in a job that you can't leave, or in a relationship that you know damn well that you don't want to be in. You're still in prison. Like, you don't have to feel like you were in prison to be in prison mentally. We all go through the same things. So every time I share my story, it wakes people up to the possibility of being like, well, damn, I want freedom too. I love doing that, but that's how I could, by me being myself and sharing my truth and being vulnerable, it opened up my life to so many people who were living the same things that just didn't know that there was a possibility outside of the life that they were living. So that's why I got dancers, I got singers, I got actors, I got jailbirds, I got freaking strippers on the pole. I was a stripper when I was 17. They used to call me Mr. Fantasy when I was in Houston. I used to dance with Horseman Production when I was 17, but I don't mind talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Because my life is my life, and it don't have to be your life. I told you I love Jesus and trap music. I'm a blend. I'm a hybrid. But there's a reason. Blessings don't just keep coming to bad people. And that's when I realized that the more and more I shared of myself, and I was my truest, authentic expression, not hiding, the more and more I exposed myself, those were the kind of people I was attracting. I was attracting deep people. I was attracting the people who wanted to be authentic. I was attracting, but I had to be the leader. I had to be the light in the world of darkness first. First, I had to do that. I got to do that. And so that nobody in this business, nobody was functioning that way. That wasn't even, oh my God, he's too real. However, Mark Hughes was like you could design it how you want. So what happened was, I realized that the person that sponsored me didn't have to have all the answers. He didn't have to have it. And I was expecting my sponsor didn't do this and he didn't do that. I was like, wait, but what did you take responsibility for, Garrain? Because last time I checked, you signed an independent distributor application, not a dependent YMCA baby. Come on, please. God, if it had to, please. No, it doesn't work that way. And so when I realized that I was the person that can create, then nobody has the power to make me slow down, make me stop other than myself. And I just need to be the most, I get to be the most that I can. And if somebody's willing to help me, hey, that's the cherry on the top. And so I started thanking Brian. I thank Brian every single week. And you know what? Brian has actually never been my mentor. Your sponsor actually doesn't. I realized that I can't be everybody's mentor. Thank God, because I wouldn't have no more left into me. And I realized that, you know, what I've learned is from like 50 different people. I'm like a hybrid of 50 different people. And here's what Brian did. He didn't energetically hold me hostage and be like, oh, that's mine, mine. Like that's how you stranglehold people. That's why people that's closest to you don't grow as much as the people that come in and then go away, because that right there is what holds people's growth hostage. And I got to learn how to truly mentor people. And it was by observation, and that's by me being the greatest example I can be, and being the most that I can be, because 75% of communication is nonverbal. It's through energy, example, and action. And if I'm not leading by example, how could I ever expect anybody to do anything? Oh, I used to do this. Don't sound like somebody's old uncle. Yeah, back in the day, I used to run a 4.40, but what are you doing now, gut? No, what's up? What's your... You know, you got a gut right now. You can't teach me nothing. You can teach me about what you used to do. But don't tell me about an iPhone 1. Tell me about that iPhone 10. Face recognition. I don't want to hear about the iPhone 1. I get it. Like, but I want to hear the current. Because relevancy is from what you are personally doing now as your own best client. What are your results like now? Not your old school results from like a year ago, year and a half ago. Like, that's played out. That's iPhone 7. Like, what's your iPhone 10 results? What's your new features? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's upgrade season. But I realized that the more and more I was waiting for something to happen, my business it's not going. It's because I wasn't stimulating my own damn self. The only way to stimulate yourself is having new features. Just like the phone. That's people get stimulated because they add new features, new camera, new this, new that. Let them go from iPhone 7. Hold on. Let them go from an iPhone 6 to iPhone 7 and change no features. Girl, I wouldn't get that phone. They got the same camera, same buttons. No. You know that people, that's what your downlines do. That's what your success team members do with you. Only in phones, the users just go to another, they stop using that phone carrier. In this business, your downline, your success team members quit because they ain't been stimulated, because you ain't even stimulating yourself. And that's what I had to learn. That's what I had to learn the hard way. Okay, y'all, just pause real quick, because I've been holding. I got to use the bathroom for about 30 seconds. I've been holding it. I was like, nah, give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
All right, you guys. So this is like the halfway point. So make sure you guys are writing these notes down. You're writing down questions that you potentially have for him, because it's not every day that you get Garrain Jones on your line. And he will, as you can see, he will give you everything he has. But if we don't have any questions at the end of this phone call, we're just going to get what he has in his head right now. So definitely make sure you're writing down your questions. And I hope you guys are fired up, because this is just the beginning right here.
And please do not be scared to ask questions, you guys. Like, you guys don't ask questions for us. And I just want you to take this opportunity because this is a very rare opportunity. You have no idea how blessed you are to be in this moment, to be able to listen to Garrain Jones on your phone at this time. So please just write down your questions. I don't care what they are. No question is a stupid question. Write down at least one. Like, have at least one, because if you don't have a question, I'm personally gonna call on you. So please have a question, okay? So I just wanted to share that.
I love seeing everybody's faces on here because I can see all the energy that's being gained right now. I see smiles growing.
Okay, I'm back.
He's back. Go ahead.
Okay, so somebody remind me where I left off.
The last thing you said is people quit because they aren't stimulated enough.
Oh yeah, people quit. Because they're not like being stimulated, and and a lot of, like, the first step is your own personal results. If it's like you run into fit camp the exact same way, you're like responding the same way, you get mad the same way, you're giving people same features. It's the same features. The way we're designed is the same way the phone is designed. And the way they stimulate people through the phone is the same way that we stimulate people through our own personal growth. Why it's like that? Whatever the maker is that created all of this magical stuff that just happens to be here is the same thing that created the process of evolution. And so, it was very interesting in this journey because me building how I wanted to build, because it had never been done this way inside of this company, it got met with a lot of criticism. Let me tell you something. All the way up the marketing plan, I got hated on because what I was doing was different than everyone else. However, last time I checked, I'm not everyone else. I'm Garrain Stefan Jones. Like, I'm not everyone else. And so what I wanted to do was create a space for people to truly experience freedom. I'm not going to talk about freedom. Oh, you can experience like freedom in Herbalife, but then put them in a platform where they feel like it's like mental slavery. You got to do this. I don't have to do a damn thing. However, let me decide and give me an understanding of context of how it can make sense to work in my life. And once I see that it works in my life, then I decide that I get to do this. But if someone decides for me, now I leave a place because I have a boss, only to come into a place that reminds me of the place I wanted to leave. And now it's like switching boss for boss for boss for boss. No, I'm an entrepreneur. So anything that makes me feel, listen to the word, feel like an entrepreneur, that's why I'll stay around. And this journey was really crazy for me. I was kicked out of groups, kicked out of the mastermind, ripped off of STS stages because I ain't never changed. Listen, I've upgraded and expanded upon myself, and that's why every single training is different, because I keep learning and seeking and cultivating and new. But the person that I am, Jesus in trap music, been the same since day one. It's just an expanded version of myself. But every single thing that I earned, everything, it came on the heels of not feeling that I had to conform to anybody. No other human gets power to decide my destiny. I have that power. And so, and I started growing in this business because I stayed plugged in, and, you know, I aligned myself with a mentor. Like, I never try to do it by myself. So this is one thing. Now, here's the one thing that I feel like people fail at a lot. It's like, I want to do it by myself. But then, when was the last time you seen a fifth grader teach himself how to get out of fifth grade? Never. There's always a teacher. There's always somebody that can pull out of you what you can't pull out of yourself. So I knew that I needed that I got to align myself with a mentor that I was in alignment with. And so in my own organization, I couldn't be everybody's mentor. I literally have maybe 4 people that I through and through mentor out of all those people. No possible way. But I'm there for a lot of people. But what I did, and people were asking me my secret. Here it is, y'all. Here's the secret. Are you ready? I don't physically own anyone. I don't energetically own anyone. I don't own my team. I get to build alongside powerful leaders. I am going in the direction I choose. I create a space for other people who choose to want to follow. And because they choose they want to follow, they have ownership over their direction. And anyone who has, and this is for leaders, I'm not talking about people that's just like, how is it ever going to happen for me? Like, and they got like 40 volume points and stuff like that. It ain't gonna never happen with that kind of mentality. Because you're going to be leading people to your weakness. What I notice is the people that have ownership over their direction is the same kind of mentality that has people that actually want to follow them, and you want to create a platform where people want to, not feel like they have to. And those produce way different results. I learned the hard way because I was just doing what other people were doing. And that's when my business wasn't growing. But when I created the space with that just made people feel free. They weren't trying to copy Garrain, but they duplicated the philosophy, maybe use word talk or working hard or doing personal development every day. But people had different ways and how they wanted to show up. Not everybody can like tight pants and pandas. All good, no problem. What I want is what I want. But I attracted a whole bunch of people who like tight pants and animals and wear bright clothes and bow ties and stuff like that. I attracted that. And like we could be going, the Rat Pack, we could be going in the same direction. Some people are not even in my organization. No problem. Because guess what? When I open myself up that way, it also allowed me to be open to be a mentor for so many other people by way of example. And then also, like say for Celeste. Celeste is a powerhouse. She's an independent woman, all this other stuff. And, you know, woman making waves and powerful in self-development. I can never take the place of another woman. I can just be the best version of a man, but I don't know what it's like to be a woman. Even though I was raised by all women. I got the cheat code on most men because they were raised to be tough. I was raised to actually listen. You know what I'm saying? But I will never know what it's like to be a woman. So even when I share certain things with women, they can hear the exact same thing from Celeste. They're like, oh my God, I'm in. Celeste did it for me. She said to do what you love. Get this, y'all. Whatever you do, don't rub it in their face and be like, I've been told you that. If you would have just listened to me. That's not how you win. because they won't feel like they discovered it on their own. All people are energetically saying is, I want to be free. They don't know how to express themselves in that way. So when they come to you with something that they discovered and you said it a million times, yo, that is fire. Support it as a child, as a parent would support the child. That's it. But in the back of your head, man, I said that to little Niglet 1,000 times. These are like little tricks. They don't talk. They don't train on this stuff on stage. I'm training on these little bitty things because I can tell you, go talk to 10 people, talk to more people, talk to more. But if you're the same person that's talking to more people, it'll be more of the same. It's when you take on different characteristics and you have a different inclination of what you're focusing on. That's what creates the separation. I'm sharing with you the details behind the details. I have 4 mentors. 4 of them are not even in my organization, but that's who I align with. But get this, in the same token, I tell my sponsor every week, Brian, I love you so much, man. Thank you so much for saving my life. And he didn't teach me anything about building this business. Nothing. He couldn't, because we were learning at the same time. Everything he was telling me was nothing. It wasn't on that level that I needed to listen. I needed to listen at a certain level. But here's what Brian did. He was like a bull matador. Because while he let me energetically go, guess what? He was flying up that marketing plan. Flying up that, because I got to be the most, because I took ownership over the way I was doing it. Of course, when I was like slipping too much, he was like the bumper rail. But when you don't give people space to mess up and you're like there every step of the way, try to raise a child, and every time they fall, never let them fall. They will never learn how to walk. They ride their bike with tricycles. And as soon as they take the tricycles off, as soon as they fall, they're like, oh, I got you. Oh, I got you. Oh. And that's what people do with their clients. That's what people do with their coaches, because they never give people the opportunity to fall on their face. If you never do that, they won't know what it's like to develop the muscle to adapt into upright standing or walking or getting balance. You can't get balance by somebody holding you up. You get balance by getting balance. This business is the same way. So your leadership is a nest. But if there's never an opportunity for people to have something of their own, they will never grow wings, because having anything on your own creates a small seed of leadership. Now you know what it's like. That will cultivate over a while. Google started in a garage. Mattel started in a shack. You know what I'm saying? It started in a warehouse. But that was a seed. Once cultivated, turned it into what it is now. Mac started in a garage. And so when you create a space for people, even clients, I have some clients that are more powerful than some of these damn coaches out here. I don't know what they're doing, but they've been handcuffed every step of the way. It's like, I don't understand why this person isn't growing. And the second that they start doing anything, it's like, no. Energetically and physically, the person can't develop the muscle. Now I'll share with you the difference. Me and my brother, same mom, same dad, same upbringing, same hard times. I left when I was 17. Bird will never know how far he can fly unless he leaves the nest. I left when I was 17. My brother left when he was 39. The difference is my brother doesn't know anything past the shell of my mom's upbringing. I learned about life. It was 10 times harder, but that you will be rewarded in life for the price that you had to pay. So I paid 15 years of price. You know that a brain surgeon goes to 15 years before he gets to big practice? Well, I went to 15 years of life school before I got the big money. So if we're not creating pockets for people to discover that fall on the face, no, you're leading. No, wait, no. You get to lead. Some people be like, oh, this is my section. I get to lead this call, or I get to lead this fit camp. I'm the person. I'm the yoga person. I'm the workout person. See? That's you. You have no idea what you're stopping in your business. You're not creating a space for people to know what's possible beyond you. You and 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 you. And this is leadership. And I learned this the hard way. So maybe you can learn from my lessons and not losing so many people. I wasn't upgrading no features. The boy was a straight iPhone 7, straight Nintendo, first Nintendo with Kung Fu, pro wrestling, and double dribble over and over and over. And some of the 80s babies don't know what I'm talking about. Anybody, some of the late 80s babies, 90s babies, they don't know what that double dribble is. You shoot that 3-point shot all the way from the back. No, hold on. I got to share screen. Y'all got to see this. Hold on right there. Now you got to see it. You got to see it. It was like, yo, we was on this mentoring call, and Garrain pulled up double dribble. Double dribble. 3-point shot. Some people business just like this. You came in one way and still operating the same way. Here's what I'm going to tell you. What got you here won't get you there. Upgrade season. Don't give nobody this in your results. Hey. So all I'm saying, you see what I'm saying? People will start this business, and what was working for them, they're going to keep doing the same thing without any kind of upgrades. Have you ever noticed that when a championship winning team, they win, they get the bet unit? They're like, why did they change the team? Because the coach understands stimulation. So if you're presenting people with double dribble is anything that you keep trying to rehash that was working back then. What got you here will not get you there. And, you know, it was a series of things that I realized that every time I was in creation mode, every time I took ownership over my own results, and like my team was seeing me different. They saw me excited. I wasn't showing these same tired results that I had for the last 6 months. Now you got to update, man. You got 10 updates between each phone. Stimulate the users every single time. What's your new update? What's your new features? Same camera, same camera. Hey, don't give them double dribble. I'm telling you. Don't give the people double dribble. Give them that NBA 2K Live 2018, 2019. They stimulated. They don't have the same John Madden 1. It's like Mad John Madden's after that. and they kept upgrading, and that's what keeps people around. So in your business, however, those conglomerates always have Capcom. Capcom is the thing that holds from. So whatever organization you're in, your organization is like Capcom to all the little games. So when you stay plugged in to Capcom, you can keep producing games. Does this make sense to you guys? So like, you know, I was trying to figure out what I was going to talk to y'all about, but this is like, I just want to have a conversation with friends, man. Listen, I want to do dope-ish with dope people and just like make money with people, like travel the world with people. And we'd be like, man, you retired your mom too? Oh, you bought your mom a car too? Like, that's the conversation that I see. Like, a lot of my friends ain't doing that. It's a couple of them, but I'm holding on to that possibility of my circle of friends. And we'd be like, oh, you retired your mom too? Yeah, y'all traveling. Where you at? Like, I'm in Russia. Like, where you at? I'm in South Africa. All right, like, well, I'm going to see you next week. But that's the kind of conversation I want to have. But it takes a certain caliber of person. They don't put first graders in fifth grade for a reason. You got to go to school. You get to go to school. And I always saw the people who made the A's. Those people who were the most, they were like at school. And they were taking the extra credit, the tutorials and all that other stuff. I was the person that always made the F's. And the reason why I always made the F's, because I was skipping school. I ain't got to do this. You can't tell me what to do, and all that other stuff. Now, I'm the person that's making the A's, and I'm teaching other people how to make the A's. I just want to make an A with everybody. I want everybody to pass. But like, we ain't teaching what they learned in school. No disrespect to the teachers. I know you want to teach something else, but the man won't allow you to. I know you really deep down inside want to teach. There's other stuff that you want to teach. They're like, but you get fired. So now we teaching people these real life stuff, like how to truly have freedom and things like that. So, you know, that's all I had to share. But what I want to let you know is that your story matters. And if you don't make it, you don't face the demons, you don't keep showing up. Every decision you make, there's going to be winter, spring, summer, fall. But if you keep showing up only to summer, then winter comes, I'm going to quit and go to the next thing, and quit and go to the next thing, quit and go to the next thing. Like, you're missing the seasons. The seasons are what groom you. So that person that you're exiling from your life, that's your emotional trainer. That person was sent to your life so that you can grow through that process, so that you can become a different person. And anytime somebody else comes into life, you will have already passed that test to know how to work with them. People are like, my vibe attracts your tribe, but if you're just with people that are just like you, you will never grow. You grow through resistance. Herbalife used to be fun, yeah, when you ain't have no team or accountability. But when you get to work with different personalities and attitudes and people making money and not making money, it's calling more of yourself. It's an opportunity for you to truly step up in leadership. It was fun when you was like at World Team and it was easy to like get those levels. Yeah, man, listen, the higher you go, the harder it gets. It's no different than school. In kindergarten, they give you building blocks, 1 + 1. In 10th grade, you get algebra. They're not giving the baby algebra. You get to start with the building blocks. Then you build up to that. So if the same thing keeps happening over and over and over and over and over, that's your test that you keep failing. If you keep playing the same round over and over and over in Zelda, that means you keep losing to the dragon at the end of the round. Super Mario Brothers, keep losing, you keep playing the same round over and over and over. It's because you lose in the King Koopa. In your life, same thing keeps happening. There's something prominent in your life that you keep responding the same way. That is your test. So if consistency is a major issue for you and the same thing keeps happening, then consistency is your test. So when you keep going and keep going and keep going past your level of comfort and keep going, boom, that's when the next level will show up for you. But it will hit you in the areas that hurt you the most, because that's the only way the universe knows it can get your attention. It's all a mirage, homies. Keep moving forward. Because if consistency is your thing, and then every time you get 2 steps forward, something happens in your relationship, then you get 2 steps back, you get 2 steps forward, and then you get into a car wreck, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, you magically get sick, and every time you get momentum, something happens. Do you know that that thing has been sent to test you, to see if what you want is what you really want? Every single time I would get 2 steps forward, something would happen with my daughter's mother, with my daughter, somebody passed away in the family, I would get sick, there was a breakup, there was a something, and guess what I kept doing? I kept moving forward. Boom, 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 boom. Because I realized that that was my flying lesson. That was me learning how to ride a bike. Falling down, get back up, falling down, get back up. Me learning how to walk, falling down, get back up. Do you know school, the building blocks of school, the building blocks of school taught us about the ups and downs of life. Kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, highest of the class, guess what happens? Drop. New school, 6th, 7th, 8th, highest of the class. Guess what happened? Drop. And you had to pass a test before you can get to the next level. 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, highest of the class. Life. The step ladders don't stop happening. The drops don't stop happening. So the second you take on the tests, that's why they say every new level is a new devil. Every time you take on the test, just know that there will be new levels of bullies, new resistance, things that come out of nowhere. Those are the pop quizzes in school. We've been taught you can take anything from school because it teaches you how to be average. You take anything from school. The building blocks of life is the ups and downs. That's what signifies life. Even if you're dead, it goes boop, flat line. But when you're alive, boop, 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 up and down, mountains, boop, boop, boop. You think the maker knew exactly what he was doing? Absolutely. It signifies life. Ups, downs, ups, downs. 2 steps forward, couple steps back. Keep moving forward. You get power. That's how you gain strength. That's how you gain resilience. You ask, if you come to me and then you say, oh, I want to train for a marathon, knowing that I ran 40 miles without stopping, 34 miles over a mountain. I'm not giving you a workout from here to the kitchen. Then most people want to work out from here to the kitchen. It used to be fun when I was running from here to my mom's room. You want to run a marathon. So when you ask for something big, don't think you ain't going to get this work. You will be tested through your spouse, through your children, through your job, through your money, through everything that knows it can get your attention. And this is the game. You understand this game? All this talking to people, talk to 10 people, all this stuff, that's all the stuff on the top layer. So what's the point of recreating more of the same? We can get to the root. The root is you passing your divine tests. You pass your divine test, everything works itself out. Everything. And I truly do feel that we weren't put on, as we have 100 trillion cells in our body. So I truly do feel that when God created us, he did not create us to pay bills and die and then pass that philosophy on to our kids. We were actually created to do some marvelous, magnificent. We created computers. What? Like, we built rockets, like whether they go into space or not, like we still built the $1 billion rocket ship. You know what I'm saying? Like, that came from us. Albert Einstein, the same thing that's inside of him is the same thing that's inside of us. It's the same thing that's inside of what makes the flower grow. You just get to decide if you're allowing, listen to the word, allowing yourself to be used in a way for the reason why you were designed, to love and be loved without boundaries. You know, it's sweeter when you can do it with a lot of people that's around you. That's what's sweet. Out of all those people Mark Hughes signed up, only 3 people stayed, and we got an $8 billion company. It's 27 people on here. What if you stay at it? Damn. 3 people, 8 billion. 27 people. No, 28. I want to be a part of that. 28 people. Maybe $1 trillion? Why not? Instead of why, what's your why not? Why not? You retire your mom? Why not? So, you know, great conversations amongst great people. And I would never think anything less. So that's why I'm not speaking to you as less. I'm speaking to you as equals. So as equals, you can choose to rise to the occasion of just simply being the fullest expression of yourself or not. And I know what you're up against, the pattern that we were ingrained as children, but we don't have to run that same hamster cycle. There's actually another way called be the most that you can possibly be. So, you know, there's some people on here, but like, how come you didn't say anything about Herbalife? Because I'm not going to lead. I'm not going to be a part of the blind that's leading the blind. It's underneath that. That's what's driving it. Have you noticed when you feel bad, your results suck? You have less volume. People start quitting because that's you controlling the energy. When you feel amazing and you're fired up about life, you have a better relationship with your husband or your wife. It's great with your kids. They got better grades. You got more clients. It's all connected to you and how you feel. So here's some action steps of some things that you can do right now. And this may sound crazy, but trust your boy. Some steps that you can do right now to upgrade your life. If you got panties and underwear that's more than 6 months in your drawers, go get some new ones. Throw the older ones out. Socks, if they older than 6 months, throw those out. Go get some new ones. Go get a new toothbrush. Go get a new brush for your hair. A broom, the broom that's spoiled out like that. Get a new broom, and then when you start to experience what it's like to have new features in your life, you'll see what you're not doing in your business. You know, it's when you get new socks, they feel good. Well, then when you add new features to your leadership, your team feels good. See how that works? It's all connected. It's all connected. So having said that, I would like to thank you. It's been an hour. But I would like to thank you for allowing me to I just be talking, man. I could go all day. Fortunately, I'm finishing up my book right now. So, but I feel like, raise your hand if you got anything from this. If you got anything we want. Cool. Everybody got something. Cool. We winning. And then see, I don't believe in giving you something that's not going to cause you to do an action now. Like a right now action. If your closet is dirty, the outside is the physical manifestation of what's going on inside of your brain. It is a projection of how dirty your mind is, how junky and cluttered your mind is. If your room is dirty, it's only mirroring, the outside is mirroring the inside. If your car is dirty, your computer screen got all this stuff. You got this phone, 125 gigs, and it's full. Magically, the screen is cracked. It's probably because it's way too much information. It's all connected. You got to create space to make room for your blessings. So much junk. It shows that you don't appreciate the blessings that are standing right in front of your face, so they don't even want to be in your life. Money don't even want to be associated with you because you can't appreciate like something right. Well, I don't like my car. And you treat your car like you don't like your car, even though it's not the Bentley or the thing. So that's why the next level car won't even lend itself to you, because you treat the car like right now. Listen, I was in my dream car while I was in my Ford Taurus, 1991. See how that works? Google. They was in the garage, but they wasn't in the garage. They was in the vision. So they was living into the vision. So if you treat it like the vision and not like what it is, your life will massively change. So I ain't your mom, I ain't your dad. But if you keep that room clean and you keep every 6 months new socks, new drawers, like new toothbrush, you will understand what the phone, why you're so stimulated about the phone, because that's an upgrade. It keeps you stimulated. That's why, ladies, when you get your hair done, you start floating around, you get your hair and nails done, you're like, ah! And the fellas is like, why is she doing it? I don't get it. Because she just stimulated herself. You just gave yourself an upgrade. Ladies know exactly what I'm talking about. Fellas, you know what I'm talking about when you get a new tailor-fitted suit, new shoes, everything. Let somebody step on your J's. Now it loses appreciation. It depreciates. You know what I'm saying? So you got, when you understand the power of the upgrade, the power of evolution, you'll realize that as long as you put yourself inside of that category and your house, that thing got to upgrade too. It houses you. So if you sleep in junk, that's what your life gonna be. I promise you. And I'm only speaking what I know, not what I read in a book. Because I come from a family that was really cluttered. So I know the difference between the space and no space. Appreciation and depreciation. So that's all I have for now. Gave you some life hacks that will save you about 20 or 30 years to your life. You can actually add 20 or 30 years to your life just because it creates a lot less stress and more positivity. And that's all we're looking for.
So awesome. Everybody clap it up for Garrain. So awesome, you guys. We have about 10 minutes. Garrain, if you have 10 minutes, we like to do question answer. So we had people writing down questions to ask you. Does anybody want to go first?
Yeah, I got a question. George.
Go ahead, George.
So, G, how did you find your mentor?
Those who seek shall find. I didn't sit around. You know what I'm saying? It was like just waiting. No, I was just like looking. I was researching. But here's the thing: what I learned, man. I would just see people that I was inspired by, and I never even had to ask them a question because success leaves clues. They do certain things all the time. Like one time, this dude, one time this dude came over to my house and he had 100 questions. He was like, man, I got this question. I was like, listen, just hang out with me for one day. By the end of the day, I was like, so what you need to ask? He was like, nothing. You answered all the questions. You will learn more through observation than questions. And I tell people all the time, if you're inspired by anything that I do, go back to when I started, November 2011. You'll see the growth. You'll see how people responded. You'll see my language and how I was selfish. And when I changed, how I was vulnerable, how I spoke about every, you know what I'm saying? It's just like reading a book. And I got all kind of mentors. They don't even know it. Conor McGregor's my mentor. And he was my mentor 4 years before I met him. I was just watching him. I was like, he's always declaring. So guess what? I'm always declare too. John C. Maxwell, he says successful people are willing to do the things that unsuccessful people won't do.
Love it. I saw Madi with her hand up. So go ahead, Madi.
I do. Excuse me. I do have a question. First off, Garrain, thank you for joining us this evening. This is quite possibly maybe about the fourth time me hearing you speak, and it's something new every time. So first off, thank you. Secondly, when you were discussing having negative people in your life, you said that we need to know that that person is there for you to learn and to grow through the process. That person there is your emotional, and I missed what title you gave that. What was
Emotional trainer.
Trainer. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, G.
You're welcome.
Any other hands? Brandon, I see you. Go ahead, Brandon.
Is the name of your book gonna be Jesus and Trap Music?
No, it's Change Your Mind.
That wasn't really my question, though. All right, my real question though, if you completely uprooted and had to start your life over somewhere completely new, what would be the first thing you do once you got there?
Wait, I need more context behind that.
So if you basically, like say you built your organization, your team where you are, and that growth happened, and then you moved across country. Like what would be some of your action steps for rebuilding, essentially, going to a place where you know anyone?
I would go on Facebook and I would go on Instagram and be like, y'all, I just moved here. Does anybody know anybody that lives here? And then I would look up all the hashtags on Instagram. You just moved to St. Louis Fitness. Boom. I'll be looking at them. I'll be adding every single person that I see. Then start commenting on their stuff. And then start going to like outings where I could meet people. Like you go to the people, go find the people, go to art shows, go to Zumba class, go to yoga class, go like everywhere. And just go meet people.
That's huge. Love that tip right there. And there's a lot of people on this phone call that could resonate with. So, Mark Jefferson, I see you. Go ahead.
What's going on, man? Yo, I know that you deal with a lot of different people. So what do you do to actually like fill your cup back up?
Man, so I pray every single day. I'm like a walking prayer, bro. I meditate. I do everything that I love. See, the thing about it is I love motivation. So I may work around a lot of people, but motivation and inspiring people is what I love to do. Some people do it because they think it'll build their business, but I love to do it. Like acting like a superhero, dancing, all that stuff. I don't just do that. That's what pours back into me. You know what I'm saying? That it's like I'm giving all of me to people, but then by them, they're like, oh my God, and people changing their lives, that's pouring right back into me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very protective of my energy. I don't waste my energy on things that like drain me at all, because I need my energy. And the way I see it is, you know, I have my daughter, I have other people in my life that I love. So any time away from doing what I love and any time away from that is taking away from the energy that I can give at the end of the day. So I'm very protective of my energy. But, you know, I'm having context of knowing that, you know, if it's something that I don't like, there's a reason. And I want to find that lesson because I know that lesson is going to teach me something that I didn't know before.
Cool. Thank you.
So awesome. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Steph.
Okay. So you talked about growth and all the greatness that comes with it. If you will just use me for example, because it's about me. I know that I can be amazing and I've been there, but I find myself getting stuck at like before like crossing that line. Like I have a hesitation, like I have like a pressure in my chest, but I know that my talent is there, whether it's with entertainment or Herbalife. How would you, if other people put into the context of their own issues, how do you break through that personally?
That honestly, that's a want. And that's the difference between there's $100 right there, but there's like a crocodile like right in front of it. Somebody's like, oh, I'm scared or something, or somebody figuring out a way. It's like I found a stick and I'm just gonna go get it, whatever I want. Maybe the desire isn't strong enough. So because the desire isn't strong enough, it's easy for you to fall back into old childhood patterns. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's about finding a desire that's so strong. And I heard you said whether it's in this or it's in dancing, which means you're trying to separate yourself from the two. I'm a whole person. You're a whole person. And anytime you try to separate yourself, you can never be the best version of yourself because you're looking at one and comparing the other and all this other stuff. And I find that with a lot of parents too. They're like, well, how, you know, I feel like I'm being a bad mom. And then when I do this, but like, yeah, it's because you're trying to separate yourself. You're a part of the whole. So giving the best you can with whatever's in front of you allows you to be 10 times more productive than someone that's like, well, I'm going to be this way. I'm going to halfway be that. And I'm be 10% here. And I'm like, it's too much energy. I'm a whole person. And 2 halves make a 0. 2 wholes make infinity. So dance doesn't complete me. Herbalife definitely doesn't complete me. I complete myself, and I get to bring my whole self to everything that I do. You know what I'm saying? So it's you know, but my desire was having a relationship a deep relationship with my daughter and with and retiring my mom. You know what I'm saying? But that's what fueled me. You know? So that's a deep. I don't know. Maybe it's in a seminar. You know, I was against seminars. I went to seminar, then I got the languaging that I need to have a relationship with my daughter. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. It was like those who seek growth beyond what's easy for them will indeed get the next level conversation. So maybe you going to seek next level conversation, where next level conversations are being held, in seminars where they teach you how to listen to yourself, where they teach you next level, that might be there. I never would have known that going to a 5-day silent retreat, I would have met a guy named Steve Stearns, that at the end of the silent retreat, he says, "You're a good looking guy. You know, I thought he was hitting on me," but he was like, "So it's safe to say you don't have a problem getting women?" I said, "Absolutely not." He said, "Get a date with your daughter." And I'm like, "She's a girl. Oh, she's not the 3-year-old. So I kept her inside of that without realizing that 16-year-old girls in 11th grade got all these kind of emotions. But I wouldn't have learned that if I wasn't in a seminar for that. Never would have learned that. I would have been doing the same thing. So now I'm not coming from this the perspective that I had, weak mindset of, well, I hope she answers the phone, and I hope she will. I went from that to, I am the most powerful representation of who she will marry one day. Women want to feel protected. They want to feel safe. They want to feel heard. They want to be acknowledged. And I never gave my daughter any of those things. Now, Daddy, there's no other man in my daughter's life, and it doesn't matter about the last 15 years because I can't make up for that. But I got, while seeking growth, seeking it, not like kind of moseying around doing what I want to do. I put myself in uncomfortable positions. That's why my daughter was on stage in Texas, acknowledging me on stage. So from a year ago, not talking to me, to now, Daddy, thank you for taking me to NASA. Oh, wow, this is really cool. And now my daughter sees me in a positive light because I'm the most powerful representation of who she will marry one day. In every aspect of the game. Now it's got all these women in my life having another example of they daddy, of how they could see they daddy, because they never got that. My mom never got a man like that. So now she's gravitating to me towards, just like my daughter is. But I was trying to figure it out, and I was stuck until I was like, no, God, listen, it's got to be more. This can't be it, because I've been trying. But now, like, I got it. And I got my relationship with my daughter. That was my president's team this year. Now I'm in Cuts Chairman's Club Daddy. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it works. And I will do anything for her. But for your dream, will you do anything for it? Because your dream is like your child. Will you go learn as much as you can? Will you go outside of your bubble, outside of your comfort zone to learn that dance move? Yeah, you will for dance, because that's your comfort zone. You've been dancing your whole life. But this other next level success, nah, you got to work. You have to get this work. You get to get this work, but you got to put yourself through the same gruesome training that you did when you were first learning dance. That's why I know it's all possible for you, because you're a great dancer. Cool. Do the same thing when it comes to growth. Same thing, same training. Show up, stay after, then keep on. Go around the best dancers. Go around, learn from this workshop, this dancing workshop, and keep doing the same thing. That's the same thing with personal growth. And life will manifest to the level at which you show up for it. And it's got to be something different. I showed up different for my daughter. She showed up different for me. You show up different for your dream, it'll show up different for you. It's all the same principle.
So awesome. Nuggets on nuggets on nuggets. We have a couple more questions for you. I already got people, so don't raise your hand. Christopher Pogson, I saw your hand up earlier, and then Jasmine Walker will close us out. So Chris, did you still have a question, or did he answer it? inside of what he was talking about. You're good? Okay, cool. Jasmine Walker.
See how that works? See how that works? Like other people getting their questions answered by observation. So your downline, your success team members, when you're living up to your standard, there's a lot that you won't have to say. It can't be the old school standard. The new school standard, your elevation, your result, your personal production. And when you're really going after it, you won't have to say too much because they'll see in your actions.
Powerful. Jasmine, did you still have a question or did you get yours answered?
I still have a question.
Go ahead.
Garrain, thank you so much. I really, really, really needed this. Thank you so much. My question, really quick. If you were to speak to Garrain, the distributor,
yeah,
what would you tell him?
Follow your heart.
Thank you.
Follow your heart and do what you love. But that, it's there's something about following your heart that's so special, because when your heart, there's a reason why the EKGs of the heart is the strongest frequency in the entire planet. The highest form of emotions is love. And wherever love is, God is. The opposite of that ain't God. So your heart will lead you. And now I'm not talking about forcing anything, because you can't force a baby out of the womb and you can't pull a flower out of the ground. You're like, why is it dying? Like, what are you doing? Like, there is a flow. There is a flow inside of every decision. But it's important to seek it. Your heart will always lead you to the flow. And whether that new distributor understood what I said or not, at least I could give them the 12th grade to their kindergarten and keep on reminding them, you'll graduate one day, you'll graduate. Like, oh, that's what you were talking about when Celeste says, follow your heart. Boom. Sometimes a substitute teacher just be dropping bombs on people.
Beautiful words right there. I had a request. Garrain, are you at home right now?
I'm at my mama's house.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was going to ask if you could give us some vision of a tour, but since you're at your mama's house.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not at the crib. I'm not at the crib.
If you guys want a clearer vision of what is possible, I highly recommend you go on Garrain's page and just see what it's like to live through his experiences of traveling, his awesome house, his awesome family, the speaking engagements he has, whatever resonates with you inside of this Herbalife experience, you can most likely find that on his page. And one thing I wanted to point out before we got off this phone call is whatever notes you take, whatever light you see inside of Garrain, you have within yourself. There's a reason we see positive things inside of other people, and it's because those are the things that we have within ourselves that just need to be brought out a little bit more to take our lives to the next level. So, Garrain, thank you so much for doing this phone call. You always have little pieces to the puzzle for everyone, and when we get to bring it together on a phone call like this, it takes our lives to the next level. So thank you so much for pouring into us. If there's any way we can pour into you, please let us know. We're
get the results, change your life. That's the greatest way to say thank you.
It's a lot of bad things that they wish. Bad things. It's a lot of bad things that they wish and I wish and I wish and I wish and I wish on me. Yeah.
It's all part of the plan.
Hey. She say, do you love me? I tell her only partly. I only got it tatted on it. And you know me, when I'm 40, never met the broskies. God's plan. God's plan. I can't do this on my own. Someone watching this shit close. Yeah. I've been me since Scarlet Road. Might go down as Geo.
I've been me since I was a little kid. If you see in massively successful people, they will always drop hints of being themselves.
And on that note, oh, go ahead, G.
There's so much more to life. So you guys have a powerful, powerful, powerful night.
And on that note, let's give it up for Garrain. I'm going to unmute all of you guys. Show your love and appreciation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Birthday twin.
Love it. Thank you so much, Garrain, for doing this phone call. All of you guys, please share your nuggets that you got from this phone call inside of our chat. And we will catch you guys later. See you later, guys.